Alright, today we're having a look at Deep Mountain Valleys 1 by N-oche-N-oche. Alright, so here we are in Deep Mountain Valleys 1 by N-oche-N-oche. And this is actually the second level of theirs that I attempted to take a look at. The first one was Nightmare ? And it just ended. So hopefully that there was going to be a little bit more gameplay going on in this. Okay, should I... Where do I'm going down. I am pressing... I'm down? Oh, okay. Have some apples, play with these fun animals. We got lots of prize bubbles to give away. Can you find them all? I do not know, but I'm gonna try. Hello, panda friend. This panda is friend-shaped. That is a very loud and frightening bird. I'm not gonna do the translation now because I want to get as much gameplay in as I can. This certainly has a look and a feel to it. It's interesting. Not interesting bad, just very interesting. I'm eating these delicious apples. That is not an apple, that is a switch. Alright, it is a little bit hard to tell sometimes just where they want us to go. There's just a lot in the visual environment that's a little bit tough to follow. Oh, apple! Oh, fudge! I missed the apple. I am a failure. I have failed at apple eating. I got that one at least. Oh, look. Can I? Yes? Yes? Oh, it's a layer launcher. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between layer launchers and bounce pads. Is there like an actual... Why is that fish laughing at me? Why is everything so strangely terrifying? I love it, but also... Wasn't that material hazardous before? I feel like it was. Apple. Okay, good. I have no idea what direction I'm supposed to be going in, but these are lovely birds. And an acorn, I guess? And cheese. What? Okay. I mean, I'm glad to have rock. I missed an apple. Oh, wait. Are you a good apple or a bad apple? Very good apple. Granny Smith, 5,000 points. Clearly, N-oche-N-oche is a person of taste. Because we know that Granny Smiths are the best apples in the world. I was eaten by cheese. Or a cheese snake. I am a little confused. And that's okay. Sometimes things can be confusing. At least it's low stakes confusing. But it's odd and it's lovely. And it's lovely odd. Oh wait, did the bell ring? Hold on a second. Oh my god, I think it did. Okay, well we gotta go back to the hub. We'll talk about it there. See you there. See yas. And we're back in Deep Mountain Valleys 1 by N-oche-N-oche. And it was a fun level. It was a creative and interesting level, but there were definitely issues with this level, and I do think that it deserves the orange diamond this go about. Although, you know, I did have my good times with it. Now, something to start off with I think that needs to be addressed. When you go to N-oche-N-oche's Earth, and you'll find 3 levels packed right next to each other. You've got Deep Mountain Valleys with no number, and then Deep Mountain Valleys 1 and 2 to either side of it. Now, it looks like Deep Mountain Valleys with no number was the original level, and it's quite a big and expansive level that was then split into kind of an A and B part. And that's Deep Mountain Valleys 1 and Deep Mountain Valleys 2. Now, this is a little bit weird, and I just wanted to point this out. I was looking at my B-roll footage, and I've got listed for times Deep Mountain Valleys, the combined form, 25 minutes, 20 seconds. Deep Mountain Valleys 1, 15 minutes, 11 seconds. Deep Mountain Valleys 2, 21 minutes, 28 seconds. I don't think there was anything added to Deep Mountain Valleys 2. Maybe I just played particularly poorly, but as you can see from all of these numbers, they're really quite big, beefy levels, and I do think for pacing issues and considering the time of the player, that splitting them probably was the best option in the end, although I find that that does rob some of the feeling and emotion that you get when Deep Mountain Valleys 2 kind of wraps everything up. I really liked the ending in that level, and I actually first experienced it in the no number version, and then experienced it a second time when I played the, B-side there. But I do think that it's a good emotional, balance to the entire set that you don't really get if you only play the A-side level, but let's focus on the A-side level for the moment here. Now, what you've got basically is a platforming collectathon. You want to grab up as many as the apples as you can find while traversing this environment, and I did like the environment. Something that I mention often when I'm looking at levels is that I really appreciate when you've got a lot of incidental movement in the environment. Animals and leaves and things blowing and shifting, and it gives the environment a sense of life, and that is certainly on display here. You've got a lot of movement, quite possibly maybe too much movement, although I did appreciate the laughing fish that just kind of swims by periodically. Some of that can be a little bit much, it can be a little bit visually distracting, but I did appreciate its inclusion more than if the level had just been like a static museum piece without any life in it. So I thought that part was really, really cool. I also like the fact that it is just generally bright and cheerful, and it's always nice to run into levels like that, although there is a dark side that we'll talk about later. So that part was cool. I super appreciated the fact that it's trilingual. How often do we even see two languages in a level? But N-oche-N-oche does give instructions in Spanish, Japanese, and English, and that's really awesome. I really appreciated that part an awful lot. But you notice the orange diamond here, and the big issues that I found with the level were in communication with the player. A lot of times the signposting is kind of confusing. Do they want you to go to the side and drop off of things, or do they want you to drop straight down from things? And I couldn't always quite tell, even playing the level multiple times, really what was demanded of me in certain situations. You've got a bit where you're expected to climb on materials, and there is a sack thing decoration that's kind of showing that, but it kind of looks just like a decorative element and not something that's actually signposting the level. This is actually something that I feel that N-oche-N-oche did a better job of in Deep Mountain Valleys 2, where they've actually got an animated, homemade Saxon character that's climbing on things that you can see, oh, I'm supposed to climb here. That wasn't really quite clear in this section. Side note, by the way, lots of monkey bars here. You're going to run into a lot of monkey bars, so if that's not something that you can get down with, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Now, compounding that communication issue is hazards. Things are hazardous when the scene demands them to be, but not in any consistent fashion throughout the level. Sometimes water's hazardous, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes wood is hazardous, sometimes it's not. Stone or the chocolate material, sometimes they're hazardous, and sometimes they're not. And it does make it a little bit frustrating to go through the level and be like, can I touch this? Every now and then you can see the electricity that's playing over it to show that it's hazardous, but not always. That electrical effect is really quite light, and it doesn't show up on objects really all that well, I find. So, rock in particular doesn't show the electricity effect. The water that we see early on, that doesn't show the electricity effect. So that can be frustrating. We want to keep gameplay elements consistent for players so that they know when they encounter them later in a level what they're going to do to the player and if they need to be avoided or if they need to be engaged with, and that is just something that we don't have here. Another thing in communication with the apples, that most of the apples give you bonuses. There doesn't seem to be any real correlation between what bonus and what apple. Like, sometimes the apples were giving me 7,000 points, and sometimes they were giving me a couple hundred points. That's not really a big deal, except there's an apple in the level that takes away, like, almost all of your points. So, if points are a thing that you consider when you're playing levels, if you want to get up on the scoreboard, I did get first place. To just run into an apple and have it suddenly erase your entire score kind of feels like a little bit of a cheat. So that was an issue. Another issue that I did have with the level is, and this is kind of interesting, it goes back to the splitting, that if you play the combined form, and a lot of the materials have been changed and the lighting has been changed, and one of the materials that I found that was a change for the worse, that you've got these sponge materials that are representing snakes or sometimes fish in the levels that were changed to, I think, like a cheese material from SpongeBob SquarePants, or maybe just that's the SpongeBob material. I don't really know because I don't know that pack very, very well. I don't use it very often, but it's really, really bright. And also I noticed that the green moss decoration that's used throughout the level, the changes from the unnumbered version to this version in lighting makes that green moss material also very, very bright, so it's quite arresting on the eyes. And I did find that to be a little bit unusual. A lot of these things I think could be handled with a little bit more polish in the level to make for a better play experience and probably bring the play experience up to a yellow square. But as it is now, definitely is an orange diamond. Now, I did mention a little bit in the Deep Mountain Valleys 2, which is the back half of this, and it's kind of like the story of going into the underworld and you're looking for the world's greatest guitarist who is a ghost. You find them eventually. They show up for like a scene. They're cute. I really, really like them, but they don't really do very much. Now, the numbered 2 version I did find to be quite an improvement on the combined version. In the combined version, the lighting is very, very, very dark, and it's very difficult to see what you're doing. It's very difficult to see details in the level. And when we see the slightly brighter version in the numbered version, and you can see like the little monster designs and the ghost designs and basically just being able to see where you're going, it's a big change, and it's something that I appreciated a lot. I liked these levels overall, and at the end of the day, but, as I said, I do think that there is a fair amount of polish that can be done with them. Now, I don't remember, because I had to re-record this because microphone troubles, but I don't remember if I mentioned in the video that I had actually wanted to play N-oche-N-oche's A Nightmare, ? For this week's episode, but I did play it, and it was just a really short gallery. I'm going to tack that on the end of the video if you don't mind staying for like an extra minute or so. It's not very long. It's a cool little gallery. It was actually kind of a little bit surprising, but there really wasn't much to do there. And that pretty much does it for us here this go about. I'm not going to do a B-side this week because actually I have good news. I got a job. That doesn't necessarily change some of the financial troubles that we're having that I was going to be talking about in the B-side, but it does give us a little bit of breathing room and take a little bit of the stress off of my shoulders and make me less worried that I was suddenly going to lose my apartment and not be able to make episodes anymore. Strangely enough, that was the biggest worry about losing my apartment, not living on the street or anything, but doing these episodes and being able to do the streams. It's been really, really important for my mental health. More important than having a stable place to live. But it looks like I'm gonna have a stable place to live, at least for a little bit more. So, yatta! Celebrations are in order. But I do have to go. I've already talked for 15 minutes. That's like way too long. So, from me, Isco, here in Tokyo, to all of you out there, wherever you may happen to be, thank you, arigato, arigato, sayonara, see you, and ciao. Alright, so here we are in A Nightmare, question mark, by N-oche-N-oche? N-oche-N-oche? Oh my god, what just happened? I didn't have a chance to read what? Now, the level select page, there's no description, but it does have some tags, and the tags say gallery and platformer. I'm hoping for more of a platformer than a gallery. Coming soon? Question mark. Wait, what? No, that's too soon, it's too quick, it's too over. Wait, is it? But I can't get out. How do I get over to the... What? 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 What do I... How do I... There's a rocking chair. Yes, there's a thing that says coming soon. Oh. Is this it? Like, is this the whole thing? But there's a scoreboard here. No! What? I am deeply confused. We might take a look at another level, and I'll just keep this as a, as like a bonus afterwards. Yes, let's do that. Let's do that, shall we?